Bismillah. Hello everyone on YouTube. Hello everyone on YouTube. I'm going to tell the Arabian Nights story today, but first, you can look, there's a cat. That's our cat. This is the garden. These are the plants. And a few days ago there was almost hurricane conditions, and that's why the panels on my wall have fallen down. So we can have those fixed. But the stone panels, so it's quite strong wind. Yeah. Okay, so Arabian Nights. The next story is about a king, and he's got his brother is a king in another country. So that's how Arabian Nights. There's loads of kings. Okay, so one day he's going to go to visit his brother, the king, in a different country. So when he gets his preparations and he's about to leave, and he leaves his castle and travels out with his whole retinue, and his whole group of men and goods and so forth, and then he forgets something that he forgot to bring in the castle. So he goes back to pick it up, maybe it's jewels or something, and then he finds his wife the queen. She's sleeping in a bed with a black slave of his. So then he pulls out his sword and he kills both of them on the spot. And then he makes his way back to his brother. It's like the whole world is turned grey and black because of this for him in his eyes. So all the world lost colour for him. So he makes his way back to his brother in his kingdom, and his brother greets him and then he greets him and treats him to food, but he realizes that his face is pale or something wrong, but he decides not to ask him about it. So he says okay, and his brother was not eating much, and he's not really eating because he's so depressed. What happened? So his brother, the king's brother, says, okay, I'm going out for the host king. He said, I'm going out for hunting. So do you want to come and hunt with me? And he says, no, because he's depressed. He stays in the castle. So the host king goes out hunting. He's a host. And then while his brother's in the castle just reflecting, he looks on the balcony of the castle into the garden, and he finds the wife of his brother. She goes into the courtyard where there's a little garden, and her and 10 slaves, male slaves, and 10 female slaves, and then they all start copulating. They all start sleeping together for from the morning until the evening. Someone passed by. We're gonna have that fence fixed. From the morning until the evening, and he's watching them, and then his brother comes back from hunting, and they all stop, and then he finds his brother, and he's like eating healthily, and the colour's gone to his face, and he's like, what happened? Because then the reason is he found that he was so happy. He wasn't happy, but he was relieved that his problem was bigger than his problem that he left at home. So he didn't feel sad anymore. He didn't feel jealous as much, and he wasn't in so much pain. But the brother sees him like, you're eating and you're healthy, and his colour's gone to your face again. And then he tells his brother what happened, like what they all did. Then in that moment in the story, Arabian Nights, both brothers, they said that the two kings, their intellects just flew from their bodies and flew from their minds. They said, right, let's just go to the jungle, we'll leave all this rubbish behind in the kingdom. And they run off together. They came across the sea, and there was a tree near the sea. And they thought, okay, let's rest under the tree. So they were tired and just coming to night time or so. And then so they go rest in the tree, and suddenly they see a huge monster, maybe like 3 meters tall, and it's a big. It's a jinn in Arabic, and you can say like a ghost, but it's not a dead person, but it's a ghost or like a monster. Comes out of the water onto the beach, where they are, and it's a tree. And then they go, this guy can tear us apart. So they both climb up the tree. And then this jinn or this monster comes and sits under the tree and says to sleep. And he takes out a box from his pocket, and he undoes the box, opens the box, and inside he takes out a woman, like a fairy or another jinn, right? And he sits it down beside and he goes, "You stay here, you stay here." Then he goes, "I'm gonna close my eyes for a little while, and then we're gonna go again." So then he says, "Okay." So then he closes his eyes, and the two kings are in the tree. So they say, and then this fairy, she looks at them, and she says, she sees them in the tree, and she says, "Come down to them." She says, "Come, get down from the tree here." And they're like, "No." And she's like, "No, this is my husband, right? And if you don't come down, I'll wake him up. When he sees you, he'll tear you limb from limb. He'll kill you, both of you." So they say, "Oh, okay." So they come down. So, and then she says, "Okay, now both of you are going to sleep with me. Both of you are going to do it with me." So then they go, "Well," and then she's like, "And if you don't, I'll wake up this monster here, and he'll tear you limb from limb." So they say. So then the two kings look at each other and they go, "Okay, you go first." And he says, "No, you go first." And then after they've both done it, she says to them, "Okay, now give me your rings. You've got rings in your hands because they're kings." So they said, "Okay, here." The first brother takes off his ring and he said, "Okay, here you go." And then the other one too. And then she says, and then she takes out a purse from her pocket and she opens it, and they see 500 rings. 500 rings inside that purse. And then she says to them, whenever I ask this from someone, I take their ring. And they go, "Whoa." the poor monster, he doesn't even know. So then they're like, "Okay, our problems of infidelity were small compared to his." So then they get the depression goes away, and then they go back to their kingdoms. End of story. Did you enjoy the story? It's funny. It's a bit cold there. That's why I'm shaking. But I want to change the scenery. You like the plants? You have these plants at home. It's a nice big plant, this one. So, yeah, that's a pond I made. This, because I like frogs and stuff. There's more plants. These are potatoes. We put a potato in there, and then these kind of shoots came in and they fell sideways. Okay, bye YouTube. Okay, bye bye.